We thought federal prisons were all brick walls and iron bars and fights and stabbings. You're wrong. It's a world of girlfriends, boyfriends, and Velcro flies. Co-ed prisons actually existed, and we have an eyewitness insider sitting with us today. GT, what the hell's the deal, and what is a co-ed prison?
Yeah, this was, back in the day when, they were still trying to do things differently with the prison systems, but, yeah, they sent me to one, and, when I got there, it was like 2 girls to every guy, and it looked like a college campus, and I was just shocked because I had left from a higher level security place, and I walked into they brought us from R&D to the chow hall. There was women sitting in there eating everywhere. You would have loved it.
Yeah. So how did you get there? Did you? And people don't understand the prison system. You can actually put in for a transfer, and I don't know if you could back then, but did you put in for a transfer? Did you try to get this place? How do you get picked to go to a co-ed prison?
Well, everybody tried that. It's up by San Francisco, by the way, and, no, I didn't put in for it. I put in for TI down in LA, but TI gets so damn full that they have moratoriums on it once in a while where nobody gets sent there. When they dropped my level from a 4 down to a 3, I had that they gave me my options. Everybody knew what your options were, just like you did, Jack. You know where your options of where you wanna go, so you put in for them and they try to get you to them if they can, if your counselor likes you. And then I get on the airlift and I'm asking the marshal, I said, on the way to the airlift, I said, "Hey, where am I? Did I get TI?" He goes, "Nah, you didn't get TI." I go, "Fuck, man." He goes, "But don't worry, you're gonna like it where you're going." He goes, "You're going to another place up in Central California." And I knew right then where I was going.
Oh, really? So you in regular prison, you got politics. You got shot collars. You got all this. Everybody's got to follow certain rules. What's the politics in a women's or a co-ed prison?
Don't get shipped out. There was, the blacks, the white, the Mexicans, everybody, the Asians, everybody got along because nobody wanted to go, and, so there's just absolutely no politics.
So no segregation in the chow hall where you're eating at. I mean, how do they do it? Were the girls sent in to eat, and then you guys sent in to eat, or
No,
everybody just
no,
go in?
no, you did everything together. You ate together, they had movies on Friday night, and they give out free popcorns in, like, a theater. You went and you took your walkie, that's what you called your girlfriend because there was a little, compound. And it looked like a college campus. It was all wooden A-frame buildings with pine trees and grass, but there was a little asphalt track about, 4 feet wide, like a sidewalk, with benches all set around it that would walk you by all the units and the kitchen, the chow hall. And so whoever your girlfriend was or your boyfriend and the girls, they were called your walkie. Hey, who's your walkie? And because that's who you walked around with them. Yeah, it was strange.
So sleeping areas, I have to assume, were separate. I
Yes.
mean, the bunk areas were. I mean, was there a lot of sneaking around at night? Did they watch it? Was it policed at
Oh,
night even?
well, it was at night you're locked down. Once the compound closed down, that's that. At 9, I think it was 9 o'clock back then. That was it. But once in a while, the cops, the units were actually 2 units. There was 2 cop desks, and there was a door in the middle that they could lock, but they were basically all 1 unit. And so the cop, if he would walk over to the other side once in a while, a guy would they called him a unit run, and the guy would run into the girl's unit to go hit with his girlfriend. And I remember while I was in there one time, this little cute, and she was cute too. This little blonde girl, she made a unit run, and she made it into the guy's unit and ran into her with the boyfriend that she had, and went in there and smashed it for a while. And then when the cop walks to the other side of the unit, she would run out. But you could get in there other ways also.
Well, was there a lot of contraband in there?
Oh, yeah, yeah. Shit, I was having tennis rackets brought in, like, really nice tennis rackets. The guys from
Rough time,
Landscape
rough times.
yeah, and the guys from Landscape, the lawnmowers were outside, in what would later become a camp. You know how they build satellite camps outside the
Yeah.
FCIs, and it wasn't a camp yet, but all the equipment was kept outside, and they would, the guys, from Landscape, they would allow them they were allowed to go out there and get them, and, and bring them in. Well, they had guys that were dumping stuff off behind the landscape out there outside, and then they would put them inside the lawnmowers up in, them big riders, and they like put my tennis racket in up where the blades were, and they just rolled the lawnmowers in, and you would pay them, and they would bring shit in. So, and like my girlfriend Liz, she had a cop. Well, she had 2 cops actually, because she used hair dye, and, they would bring me like, every weekend, she would get a bottle of vodka, and she would make me Bloody Marys and everything and a thing to eat, and we'd go out, and sit on the benches there and drink and kick it.
So Liz, your girlfriend, she had kind of a storied history, didn't she?
Oh, she was the biggest case in there. Everybody knew Liz. It was Liz and the Puerto Rican terrorists. She was doing 30 years on assassination on a federal judge, and that was the one where Woody Harrelson's father was the hit man. They wrote books about it and everything, and he killed him, and James Harrelson's wife was in there, Pat, but Liz had a huge case. She had been in 9 years. She hadn't been with a guy, like, for 9 years, so she didn't like the guys that were there, and me and her kinda hit it off, and, I was her first boyfriend in 9 years, but she
Jesus.
had girlfriends before that, yeah.
So you got these guys, these girls, these walkies. So sometimes they're long enough to build up a pretty good relationship. You know, they're
Oh,
thinking
yeah,
long term, maybe.
Liz was actually fell in love with me,
Well, good. See,
'cause
so what happens is something like that. So you had this girlfriend, Liz, who was well known, and these other guys had a girlfriend. What happened is the relationship goes south. I mean, was there any problems in there ever?
they just get another walkie. Yeah,
That's
oh,
it?
yeah, there was people get bitter, but they get in their feelings, but they didn't wanna leave, so, and a lot of the girls, they had their walkies out, and then when we'd go in at night, they'd still have their girlfriends when they go in the unit. Um that was,
Yeah.
yeah, yeah. My buddy Tom, I'll tell you a little quick story. He had a native girl, and she was cool. I forget her name, and I was with Tom over Phoenix, and he used to always call her his squaw, and, he goes, "Where's my fucking squaw?" Tom was a big tough guy, but he was a softie with her and stuff, and he would call her squaw and that, and she finally got tired of his bullshit, and she left him for a girl. And, so Tom caught a little heat, especially from me, he was my boy, and, nobody else would say too much to him because he was a big tough guy, but me and him were like, we were road dogs, and, I gave him shit mercilessly all the time because then she would be walking around with her girlfriend holding hands, and Tom would sit there and stew. Eh.
Did they ever get any, I would say, unwanted pregnancies, but I suppose any
All the
pregnancy.
time. All the
Really?
time. Yeah, if a girl got pregnant. And usually, they knew who their walkie was. Everybody knew who the couples were, and, a lot of times they would ship the guys out. But the girls, even if they didn't get caught having sex, if the girl got pregnant, they would ship them to MCC San Diego to the holding facility, and they would have their baby there. And after they had the baby, they'd come back, but they would go there. Now, if you got caught fucking though, you got shipped. A lot of
Yeah.
times the girls didn't, but the guys, they were out. But it was pretty regular. There would be a girl getting pregnant every few months. Yeah.
Yeah. We're gonna close with the last thing is, what's the deal with the Velcro fly I hear about
Oh,
in there? Is it
oh
real?
yeah. Yeah, I got that was the one other way that you could get in the units because I did it for a while. You could be a plumber. And they actually there was 3 guys and a girl on the plumbing crew, and, so if there was a toilet stuck or whatever, clogged up or whatever, they would call the plumbing crew in. Well, and that there's another story behind that is people would clog their toilets up on purpose so the girls would, because there was a few guys that had girlfriends, and they'd call the plumbing crew, and when the plumbing crew is, the girls could smash their boyfriend. But there was the one girl on the plumbing crew, a Spanish girl, and she was hot too. Big old boobs, and, they had jumpsuits they made the girls wear, and they had a zipper in the back, and when they'd go to work, they'd have to have their zipper zipped up in the back, so they couldn't take them off, real easy, and they were jumpsuits, not pants and a shirt like the guys wore. Well, this one girl, she had Velcro down in her crotch, and it was like a big Velcro zipper. and I had heard the rumors, and I had a girl Liz was my girlfriend, and I said, "Hey, is it true?" I told her, I said that, "You have a" she came in to work in my room, and I said, "Hey, is it true you got Velcro down there?" And she goes, "Yeah," and she sat down and pulled your legs apart and ripped that thing open, and she goes, "Do you like it?" I go, "Oh, yeah, that's real nice," but I knew I'd get found out, so, but that's a true story. Everybody on the compound knew about her little Velcro hustle.
Well, there you go. We're going to close with that. What better way to close out than the Velcro fly? GT fed joints to beer joints. And we'll see you guys soon.
Alright.